that original red plastic cup is the only thing physical that made it with me all the way through that. Now, 3 times it was taken from me by someone bigger, badder, meaner, and uglier than I was. And 3 times I had to go and get it back. The last time I got my butt whooped at least 3 times, and the gentleman who had taken it, when I would get up about 20 minutes later or so and go and reapproach him and say, give me my cup back, he told him I was one crazy son of a gun, because he'd already proved he could whip my ass. And I agreed with him, and I told him, but you hadn't killed me yet, and you're going to have to do that because my mama gave me that cup. During the first, well, okay, folks, 2 years, 103 days, my conviction was overturned on the first appeal, a unanimous decision. At that point, it had nothing to do with the fact of my innocence. It was because I'd received an unfair trial. I was released pending further proceedings. 3 years later, with the label back to accused murderer. Ultimately, with the help of a court-appointed attorney who wouldn't quit, wouldn't walk away, and a whole lot of other folks, we uncovered the evidence hidden from us for more than 7 years that absolutely proved my innocence. We put it in the face of the state of Alabama, and at a hastily called hearing, the charge against me was forevermore dismissed. More than 7 years from the night Shar and I were shot. Free at last. When we exited the courthouse, now this wasn't big national news, but it sure was big news in that little part of the country. But when Paul Young, my lawyer, my counselor, my friend, and I walked out of that courthouse with the district attorney and his party of thugs, and we walked onto the steps, we were met by the media, the television cameras, and the newspaper, and all of those folks. And they stuck their microphones into the face of Joel Fulmer, the district attorney, and they said, well, what does this mean? What happens now? His response was, and I quote, we're reopening the investigation. We're looking for the man who did it. I have no further comment. And he walked away, as I've said before, faster than any little short fat man I've ever seen walk. That was the last official statement by the state of Alabama in that matter. That cup, probably on the first 4 or 5 journeys, brought that red cup along. I've retired it now, because now I'm getting more absent-minded, and I'm in a less confined space, and I have a tendency to set things down. But there's nowhere I go at any time that I don't have a cup. And occasionally I have to go to that cup and touch it. My mother was a lady. What began with this horrible act of violence, like Georgia, angry, woo, rage. Not all murder victim family members go to hatred, but by God I did. And I hated not only the man who murdered my wife, but this long list of folks within the system that failed me. Woo! My God, for more than 7 years.
Right. How